It's 1988. The Nintendo Entertainment System is riding high with a library stacked with some of the most memorable games in history. Enter Contra, a run-and-gun shooter that would go on to define not only its genre but an era of gaming itself. Developed by Konami, Contra wasn't just a game, it was a rite of passage for anyone with a controller and a thirst for a challenge. Originally a hit in arcades, Contra made the leap to the Nintendo with some sacrifices in presentation but plenty of improvements in accessibility and gameplay depth. For many players, Contra was a proving ground, a test of reflexes, coordination, and above all, patience. Its legendary difficulty cemented it as one of the most rewarding Nintendo games to master. Yet, it wasn't just the challenge that hooked players. The thrill of its seamless two-player cooperative mode, coupled with dynamic level designs and adrenaline-fueled boss fights, made Contra a game that felt ahead of its time. Contra wasn't without its flaws. The difficulty could veer into frustration territory, especially for younger players or those new to the genre. Some sections demanded almost superhuman precision, and losing all your lives could mean restarting the entire game, unless you used that famous cheat code. But for every cheap death or unfair jump, Contra offered a satisfying reward, from the satisfaction of clearing a tough level to the unforgettable sight of an alien boss crumbling before your relentless firepower. Contra is a reminder of what made the 8-bit era so special, its ability to deliver unforgettable experiences despite hardware limitations. It wasn't just about beating the game, it was about mastering it, bonding with friends over shared victories and feeling like an 80s action hero in the process. The story of Contra isn't exactly Shakespeare, but it doesn't need to be. This is a tale ripped straight from the pages of an 80s action flick, full of explosions, muscle-bound heroes, and evil alien invaders. It's simple, yet effective, setting the stage for the non-stop action that defines the game. Earth is under threat from a mysterious alien force known as the Red Falcon Organization. This sinister group has taken root on the Galuga Archipelago, a remote chain of islands, and is preparing to unleash devastation on humanity. Enter the heroes, Bill Reiser and Lance Bean, two commandos from the Earth Marine Corps. Bill and Lance, clearly modeled after Hollywood icons like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, are the quintessential 80s action heroes, shirtless, fearless, and armed to the teeth. Their mission is to storm the enemy stronghold, take out the Red Falcon's forces, and save the world from total annihilation. Simple. The Nintendo version doesn't go heavy on exposition, but its manual fills in some of the details. According to the backstory, Red Falcon has been lying dormant on Earth for millions of years, waiting for the right moment to strike. Humanity's technological advancements and nuclear experiments finally woke the beast, and now it's up to our heroes to put this ancient evil back to sleep permanently. What makes Contra's story so memorable isn't its depth, but how it's delivered. Every level feels like a new chapter in an action-packed movie. The jungle, the waterfall, the alien base. Each environment tells its own part of the story, showing the heroes pushing deeper into enemy territory. For all its simplicity, Contra's story works because it serves the gameplay perfectly. There are no long cutscenes or text dumps to slow things down, just enough context to give you a reason to keep moving forward. The heart and soul of Contra is its gameplay, and on the Nintendo, it's a near-perfect distillation of what makes run-and-gun action so thrilling. At its core, Contra is about running, shooting, and surviving. You take control of either Bill Reiser or Lance Bean, two commandos who move fluidly through various side-scrolling and pseudo-3D environments. The controls are deceptively simple. You can run, jump, crouch, and fire in 8 directions. While this may seem basic by today's standards, the precision of these controls is what sets Contra apart. Whether you're dodging enemy fire, navigating treacherous platforms, or unleashing a storm of bullets in all directions, the game demands and rewards precise movements. A key element of Contra's gameplay is its arsenal of weapons, each with unique advantages and drawbacks. You start with the standard issue machine gun, but as you progress, you'll encounter power-ups that completely change the way you approach combat. The spread gun, arguably the most beloved weapon in the game, fires a wide arc of bullets, making it perfect for crowd control. Contra doesn't pull its punches when it comes to enemy variety. Soldiers, turrets, tanks, and later alien monstrosities flood the screen in increasingly complex patterns. The enemy AI isn't particularly advanced, but their sheer numbers and the way they're positioned force you to stay on your toes. The addition of environmental hazards like collapsing bridges and moving platforms keeps the gameplay from feeling repetitive. Every level throws something new at you, demanding quick reflexes and a sharp eye. A standout feature of Contra is its 2-player cooperative mode. Playing solo is fun and challenging, but adding a second player ramps up the excitement and the chaos. Working together to navigate levels, time jumps, and take down enemies is a blast, though it's not without its challenges. Both players share a single screen, meaning one can inadvertently cause the other to fall into a pit or get hit by an enemy. Still, the cooperative mode is where Contra truly shines, offering one of the best couch co-op experiences of the era. Contra is also infamous for its difficulty. The game gives you 3 lives and 3 continues. Enemies can kill you with a single hit, and the game's relentless pace doesn't leave much room for error. Yet, this difficulty is part of the game's appeal. Every successful jump, dodge, or boss takedown feels earned, and the sense of accomplishment when you finally clear a stage is unparalleled. Contra's gameplay is a masterclass in balancing simplicity with depth. It's easy to pick up but hard to master, offering a satisfying challenge for newcomers and veterans alike. Whether you're dodging bullets, grabbing power-ups, or teaming up with a friend, Contra keeps the adrenaline pumping from start to finish. For a game released on the Nintendo in 1988, Contra pushed the hardware to its limits, delivering a visually striking and orally memorable experience. While it may not rival its arcade counterpart in raw fidelity, the Nintendo version holds its own by leveraging clever design and excellent audio-visual cohesion to create a game that still looks and sounds impressive today. Contra embodies the gritty, high-octane action of the late 80s. The sprite work is detailed and immediately iconic. Bill and Lance, with their bandana-clad heads and beefy builds, stand out as clear homages to Hollywood action heroes. Despite the Nintendo's limitations, the characters and enemies are easy to distinguish, which is critical in a game as chaotic as this. The environments are where Contra truly shines. Each stage has a distinct theme, keeping the visual experience fresh throughout the game. You start in the dense jungle, complete with palm trees and makeshift enemy fortifications. Then, you move to an enemy base, a treacherous waterfall, and finally, the grotesque alien lair. The transition from military realism to sci-fi horror is gradual but effective. Of course, there are some graphical limitations. Flickering sprites and occasional slowdown occur when the screen is packed with enemies and bullets, a common issue in NES games. However, these moments are surprisingly rare given how much action the game manages to pack into its 8-bit frame. If the graphics set the stage, the sound design completes the atmosphere. Contra's soundtrack is legendary, featuring some of the most adrenaline-pumping tunes on the Nintendo. The opening jungle theme, with its driving beat and catchy melody, immediately sets the tone for the action-packed adventure ahead. Each level has its own music, ranging from tense, rhythmic tracks that underscore the danger to more triumphant pieces that make you feel unstoppable. The sound effects are equally memorable. Every shot fired, every explosion, and every enemy defeated has a distinctive sound that adds weight to the action. The spread gun's rapid burst of fire in particular is incredibly satisfying and reinforces why it's a fan-favorite weapon. Even the death jingle when you lose a life has become iconic, reminding players of Contra's punishing difficulty with a sharp, memorable sting. What Contra achieves with its graphics and sound is nothing short of remarkable for an 8-bit game. It captures the feel of an action movie perfectly, from the gritty visual style to the pulse-pounding music. While some technical hiccups like sprite flicker and repetitive sounds are present, they're easily overshadowed by the sheer energy and excitement the game delivers. Few games have left a mark on the industry as indelible as Contra. Decades after its 1988 release, it remains a touchstone for what makes an action game exhilarating. Its combination of tight gameplay, cooperative chaos, and relentless challenge solidified it as a classic. But its influence extends far beyond its own cartridge. From inspiring countless run-and-gun games to embedding itself into gaming culture, Contra's legacy is both enduring and far-reaching. At its core, Contra helped define what a run-and-gun game could be. Its fast-paced action, multi-directional shooting, and weapon power-ups set the standard for a genre that thrives on reflexes and intensity. Games like Metal Slug, Gunstar Heroes, and even modern indie titles such as Cuphead owe a debt to Contra's formula. It wasn't just about shooting enemies, it was about mastering movement, timing, and strategy in tandem with the chaos unfolding on screen. The cooperative gameplay in particular was groundbreaking for its time. While multiplayer gaming wasn't new, Contra made it a central part of the experience. The ability to team up with a friend to tackle the game's challenges elevated it from a tough-as-nails solo experience to a communal adventure. This cooperative aspect made Contra a must-play for friends and siblings, creating memories of both triumph and frustration as players worked together, or occasionally blamed each other for a misstep. One of Contra's most enduring contributions to gaming culture is its association with the Konami code. While the cheat code first appeared in Gradius, it was Contra that turned it into a household name. Entering up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start granted players 30 lives, giving many their first real chance to conquer the game's punishing difficulty. The code became synonymous with the game itself and remains one of the most recognizable pieces of gaming trivia. Contra spawned numerous sequels and spin-offs, each adding new twists to the formula. Super C, Contra 3, The Alien Wars, and Contra. Hardcore carried the torch, introducing new mechanics, improved graphics, and even grittier stories. Part of Contra's staying power is its reputation as a difficult but fair game. Unlike many hard games of the 8-bit era, Contra rarely feels cheap. Its challenge is rooted in pattern recognition, quick reflexes, and learning through repetition. This has made it a favorite for speedrunners and challenge seekers who still find joy in perfecting their runs. While not every Contra sequel or spin-off has lived up to the original, the NES Classic remains an enduring symbol of gaming's golden age. Its innovations in gameplay, its unforgettable cooperative mode, and its cultural resonance have earned it a permanent place in the annals of video game history. Whether you're a retro enthusiast revisiting its pixelated jungles, or a newcomer discovering its challenges for the first time, Contra's legacy continues to inspire and entertain.